reports. And let me recall what exactly the special prosecutor said. The last time he spoke about the Cecilia Dapaah matter, which Matikbebu referenced earlier. And I'll show you some of the 17 cases now under full investigation. But let's recall what the special prosecutor said. Take a look.
From October 2023, the investigation became cross-border and transboundary upon the claim by the persons of interest that part of the seized cash sums was transported to Ghana from the United States. For that reason, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, of the United States became involved in a collaborative investigative work with the office on the matter. Investigation has been aimed at determining the sources of the large cash sums associated with Ms. Dapaah and Mr. Osei Kufuor. The office has had the benefit of 7 months of in-country and 4 months of collaborative transboundary investigation. Members of the press, on the totality of the gathered evidence and intelligence, it seems to us that the case is largely in the province of suspected money laundering and structuring. By operation of law, the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, has a specific and direct mandate in respect of suspected cases of money laundering and its attendant activity of structuring. Of the special prosecutor is referring the case to EOCO for continued investigation and further action. The office will be in close collaboration with EOCO and continued collaboration with the FBI. A little over an hour ago, the office discontinued its application that was pending before the High Court for a confirmation of the seizure and freezing orders in pursuance of the referral of the case to EOCO. The court ordered that the office should return the cash sums and defreeze the account of an investment of Ms. Dapaah within 72 hours. The office also discontinued the procedural criminal charge against Ms. Dapaah for failure to return forms on declaration of property and income, since that was mounted on the original application for confirmation of the seizure and freezing orders, which was discontinued earlier in time.
That's Kennedy Agyapong, the special prosecutor there, giving the last update he gave on this Cecilia Dapaah matter. But these are some 17 cases now under full investigation. One, the Minerals Income and Investment Fund, investigation into suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses regarding the MIF operations between 2020 and 2024, especially concerning payments made for Agyapong Royalties Limited. They are investigating that, and includes investigations into the GIJ Minerals Limited, RCM Properties, Energy and Resources Company Limited, Goldstorm Ghana Limited, BH Minerals Limited, Ghana Airports Company Limited. This one we do know because it's fresh on our minds. Just a few weeks ago, we saw how things played out, leading to the termination of that particular contract. The company involved has also then written. In fact, they gave the Ghana Airports Company Limited a 1-week ultimatum to restore that contract. We'll revisit what has happened with it. But the Ghana, that's the Office of Special Prosecutor, is investigating this suspected corruption and corruption related offenses regarding the operations and contractual arrangement between 2020 and 2024. That is a matter that they are looking at as well. The Ghana Education Service investigations into suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses regarding the large-scale sale of appointment letters. Let's put that on the screen right now. To prospective teachers and the laundering of proceeds from unlawful enterprise. The National Commission on Culture also investigating operations between 2020 and 2024. The Ghana Revenue Authority, also that's with the Tata Consulting. And then there's a National Service Authority. They're investigating suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses regarding recruitment of national service persons and related activities between 2020 and 2024. And then we see, and quite a number of them. The National Cathedral. In fact, out of this report, we got to know a bit more detail of what the special prosecutor is looking for in the matters of the former Finance Minister, Kennedy Agyapong. There were 5 issues that were listed, reason why the OSP wants Ken Ofori Atta in person in this country. This report gives some further detail, but this is it. One of them is the National Cathedral, investigation into suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses regarding procurement of contractors and materials and payment by a former Minister of Finance, Kennedy Agyapong Atta, and payment by the National Cathedral Secretariat. In fact, they're saying that in the matter of the Electricity Company of Ghana, this BXC is another case that the OSP is investigating Ken Ofori Atta's involvement in. He talks about padding. He says they are investigating Ken Ofori Atta for padding, as it were, massaging the figures regarding this particular contract. And then the government payroll administration, as well as the state lands, stool lands, and other vested lands as well. They are looking into all of that. Galamsey as well is of topical interest to the special prosecutor. These are the 17 cases that the special prosecutor is looking at as well going forward. And I'll be joined by another private legal practitioner. Bracco Powers is going to be joining us but also joining us in the studio, thankfully, we have the head of prosecution and the legal unit of the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO. He's a private legal practitioner, lawyer Leo Anthony Siama. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you. Just a point of correction, I'm not a private legal practitioner. I work exclusively for the Economic and Organized Crime Office, and by virtue of that, the government of Ghana.
Thank you very much. And a lawyer, by the way, Leo Anthony Siama. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Also, shortly, we would have lawyer Bracco Powers also joining us for a conversation on this quickly. Now, we see this half-year report that the OSP put out, and I'll start off with you, lawyer Matic People. The OSP did indicate in this particular report the specific matter regarding Cecilia Dapaah, as was captured. Within the week, they had cause to clarify what they had put in there. They captured it that they have found no evidence of corruption at the time. In fact, after the collaboration with the FBI, but then they had indicated that there was no direct and immediate evidence of corruption was identified during the investigation. What does that say legally? The legal nuance in this particular way that they captured the latest on this Cecilia Dapaah case.
Okay, so one, with what OSP said, it just means that is for now. That's the key thing, because let's remember, crime has that's in Ghana. Some places there is expiry date. But in Ghana, we're still using that old law that, look, there is no limitation. So let's use ordinary words. No expiry date for a crime. So though for now, OSP cannot find corruption, if tomorrow they were to find corruption, the case would be back right where we started from. That's to say that Cecilia Dapaah will be hauled before a court of law for corruption. Okay? So this is not the end of the case. And that's the same thing that the FBI is saying, right?
Right.
Now, the second part is that we also know that when Kennedy Agyapong found that he didn't find corruption, he said he suspects money laundering and structuring. Thanks that Leo is here. Okay, so he will represent Mr. Raymond Acha. The file is currently with Leo. Leo is here. Leo is head of investigation, so we have to push him.
So is head of prosecution now? I think, or there's legal investigation?
Yeah, legal and prosecution.
So,
Leo Siama is here. He will tell you. He has the file. And he knows. And we are in court. Because I'm pushing that, Professor Agyapong and I, we sued last year when Godfrey Dami gave an opinion that Yoko should not go ahead with the investigation into the money laundering matter because there was no predicate offense.
Right.
That's to say, Godfrey Dame was saying that we should first find out that the Cecilia Dapaah get the money from, let's say, cocaine, from murder, from stealing, from fraud, 419, etc. That's the old jurisprudence. We have moved away from it in the new anti-money laundering law. Yet Godfrey Dame, as Attorney General, okay, had this opinion delivered to Iyoko, then headed by Mami Tiwa Addo Dankwa, and we all know the things Tiwa Addo Dankwa was doing for Akufo Addo, covering the Sewa Bruni case, Abu Jinapo, and this Asensu Boakye, that case against them, etc. Many cases that you would find Mami Tiwa Addo Dankwa then at the CID covering up for Akufo Addo. So she went to Yoko and the same thing. You remember even the NAM1 case. That's how she came out and said there's no case against NAM1. The public pushed. The NAM1 case went to court and NAM1 is asked to open his defense. A case that head of Yoko came and said no, they don't find anything that NAM1 is done wrong that can be prosecuted in a court of law. Yet eventually it went and it has passed submission of no case, where NAM1 is now having to open his defense, right? So you see from everything that when that opinion was given, I could see that this was a sham opinion. So we spoke with Jampo, etc., and we agreed that we'll sue. So, long story short, you see that even though the court has not yet ruled, Iyoko has agreed that they will do the investigation because it's so clear. Article 286, Clause 4 of our Constitution says that if we find you with money, okay, I mean, and of course any asset at all, and that asset is not your salary, that's your income, it's not inheritance, it's not a loan, etc. There's a fourth one, or it's not a gift. Thank you, Honorable. It will be deemed to have been illegally obtained. And so please, my key point here, key point on the key points program is that OSP did investigations on the source of the money. Cecilia Dapaah said she got that money from cosmetic business. 2, OSP investigated and found out that Cecilia Dapaah doesn't own those businesses. Then when it comes to the $800,000, that's part of the money. She said it belongs to her deceased brother, the shoemaker. When the shoemaker's wife heard it, and then through lawyer Kusi, they were prepared to sue Cecilia Dapaah for the money. Then she retracted that story. Right. So the key point I'm making on this key points program is that by Article 286 of our Constitution, it says if we find you with something that you cannot explain as a public officer, the source of that asset, it is illegally obtained. And that is money laundering when it comes to the criminal law. And so that is what Iyoko is looking into. So all those saying that, oh, she's been exonerated, I'm like, what exoneration? Iyoko has a file. The man who has a file, thankfully, is seated right here. So, I mean, when we get there, he would go into the details. And it's public knowledge. I think we played it here, where OSP said he has handed over the file to Raymond Archer. And Raymond Archer acts through Leo, Siama, who is here. So he should go into it. So please, let's stop the propaganda. As for this money, as long as I live, we will get to the bottom of it. And thankfully, Gamante, King Takite Kochuru II is leading the whole king of Accra. You wait and see. We are not letting this money go. How? Over when you put everything together, over $1.5 million, then you come to the Ghana cedis, over 5 million Ghana cedis.
I recall that the former Attorney General's position was that to the extent that there was no predicate offense, right?
Yes.
That relates to money laundering. There was really no need for Iyoko to waste his time investigating something of the sort, because there had to be an offense or an action that related to what OSP is saying it suspects to be the proceeds of. But there hadn't been, in his opinion, I'm sure that's what he said.
Yeah.
Reason why Iyoko returned the document back to the OSP, that look, we don't want to waste our time on this. This is what the Attorney General is saying to us. So why what is your point of departure on this? Especially because at the time, in the mind of the legal unit of Yoko, what the Gofredame had indicated or had advised them had some sound consideration in there.
It didn't have sound consideration.
Why?
It was just political machination. You know, so I'm coming to the why.
Okay.
Look, Parliament has expressly, I want to read the bill to you. Parliament has expressly said that in order to comply with Ghana's international obligations, they were passing a new anti-money laundering act. And one of the key things they're doing is to move away from the requirement of a predicate offense. It's expressed in the bill. I think I've read it here a number of times. I've read it here. Don't worry, we'll find it. I'll read it again. And it's good Leo is here. If I'm wrong, of course, he knows that he can correct me. In law, we are not afraid to make mistakes. If I'm speaking wrong law, Leo knows that he has to correct me immediately before I pollute Ghanaians, right? Okay. So, and that's the matter we are even fighting in court. And before we even finish fighting, okay, Iyoko is saying that, and it's because Leo and Co believe that what Gyamfi and Naa say is right. That's why they went for the docket. That's why they took it from Kisi Ejabe, and they are doing the investigations. If they thought it was wrong, they would have just said, look, come on, I mean, it's wrong, so let the court decide, okay? So what that Gofredame wrote, I'm telling you that Parliament has expressly said that we, in order to meet our international obligations, right, we are passing a new anti-money laundering act. Is it 1041, Leo? Correct?
1044.
1044, thank you. 1044. And one of the key things they said is that we are jettisoning the requirement for, or is it you say requirement of a predicate offense. It's expressed in the bill. We've read it and then we've shown it the court, okay? And you know what this in Parliament was doing? Parliament was trying to catch up international because for the UK, as far back as 2002, they have this law they call Proceeds of Crime Act, where they said, look, no, we are no longer insisting on a predicate offense. So if you check 2002 to when we passed our law, at least that was more than 20 years, okay? So please, this thing, that predicate offense, that is not law. We have moved on, and that's something that everybody should understand. It's an express provision in our law. Section 1, subsection 3 of the Anti-Money Laundering Act says that when we are investigating...
Section 1, subsection 3.
Yes.
So, you know, for the benefit of our viewers, let's put that on the screen. I think we'll put it up. Section 1 let's word. 1044 is what you have there. A person shall not engage in money laundering. A person commits an offense of money laundering if the person knows or ought to have known that the property is or forms part of the proceeds of unlawful activity, and the person, let's flip to the next one, converts, conceals, disguises, or transfers the property for the purpose of one.
That's the explanation. Okay,
concealing or disguising the illicit origin of the property, or assisting any person who is involved in the commission of the unlawful activity to evade the legal consequence of the unlawful activity. And then B, conceals or disguises the true nature, source, location, disposition, movement, or ownership of or rights to the property, or acquires, uses, or takes possession of the property knowing or suspecting at the time of receipt of the property that the property is or forms part of the proceeds of unlawful activity. And the 3, where a person under investigation, this is where you base your argument, where a person under investigation for money laundering is in possession or control of property which the person cannot account for and which is disproportionate to the income of that person from known sources, that person shall be deemed to have committed an offense under subsection 2.
Please read it again slowly. Yes, that's the thing. Read it. Please read it.
No, is that so? Where a person under investigation for money laundering is in possession or control of property which the person cannot account for and which is disproportionate to the income of that person from known sources, the person shall be deemed to have committed an offense under subsection 2.
Good. And you see, the context is that already at OSP, Cecilia Dapaah couldn't explain the source of the money.
But at the time,
case.
but the argument was that the OSP was not investigating money laundering. So Cecilia Dapaah was not under investigation for money laundering.
No, yes, but she said, so that will be evidence that will be adduced in court. The OSP officer will come, the investigators will come and give evidence to help Leo Siame's case.
Right.
That you went and told OSP. So you see, in terms of credibility, today you say this, you say something in the morning, say another thing in the evening, and then say a different thing tomorrow morning. So like a chameleon, today you are white, or you are white right now, then in the next second you are red, then in 2 minutes you are blue. So such a thing, you think a court of law will sit down? A court of law. Look, even in Nigeria, Goodluck, is it Jonathan's wife? Goodluck Jonathan's wife was found with plenty money. She couldn't explain. They took it. The same law. The same law. Goodluck Jonathan, the wife, right? We can Google it and see. And then another governor, was it the governor, another governor's wife. They said, what this money, where is it from? Oh, then they will ask, is your money lost? When they are asking, where is this money from? Then you are asking that, have you lost your money? What nonsense. So they went into it, they took the money, right? So the whole idea is that once we have said expressly in our law that we are taking away the need for a predicate offense, please, let's make sure that we would get to the bottom of this matter. Now, let's do this. So, Council, let's read the bill. I've read it. I've read it here a number of times, but let's just read it again. So, revision. We keep reading the Bible and the Quran all our lives, right?
Indeed.
So it says, the clause seeks to ensure Ghana fully meets the requirements under Recommendation 3 of the Financial Action Task Force, which requires that when proving that property is the proceeds of crime, it should not be necessary that a person be convicted of a predicate offense. The clause, therefore, introduces a component which distinguishes the offense of money laundering as a stand-alone offense. That's Parliament. But this one, you don't need to be a lawyer. Dr. Zato, I'm sure you understand it. It says money laundering now is a stand-alone offense. So how can an attorney general, as if maybe he thought we would not find a bill. You know, when we started investigating, you know, God works in mysterious ways. You know, I was scratching my head when they think. Then I called somebody, big woman in the field. Of course, I can't name my sources. Otherwise, my sources will dry.
That's fair.
So the woman said, Martin, it appears there's something in the bill. Go and look for it. I went, and lo and behold, this is it. You see how God works. Godfrey Daming thinks that 35 million citizens.
This is
the bill.
The bill again? Which bill is this?
That's a bill to the Anti-Money Laundering Act.
Okay.
Parliament says we are catching up with our international obligations. So money laundering is now a stand-alone offense.
So you don't need a predicate offense essentially to investigate. But
Dr. Zato says he understands. He wants to explain it, please.
No, but that's what, and then that's actually where I bring in Dr. Zato. No, Leo, I'll come to you. I think it's in everybody's interest that we get to the bottom of this matter, Dr. Zato. How we get to the bottom of it is where we're seeing things play out in a very rather different and interesting way, because the previous Yoko leadership agrees with a certain narrative which has been clearly questioned with legal references by Martin Kpebu. Reason why they didn't want to even waste their time going into investigating any matter of money laundering. Then there is a a new leadership at IOCO who then sees reason to want to investigate this. And this is the same institution. How does that strike you? Yes.
Thank you very much. You know, I've listened to Martin, and I must say you were very eloquent and you were very excellent in your presentation. On that note, and today on this morning, I confer on you the title of the Sergio Ramos of the NDC. You have proved that you are the Sergio Ramos of the NDC and the government, and you defend them excellently. Thank you. I confer that title on you, succinctly. Nicely done. Wonderful. Excellent defender. Perfect. Ballon d'Or contender. Now I come to this case that I have to talk about. The gods of Nana Akufo Addo, thank you. Nana, continue to enjoy your retirement in peace. The God and the gods of Cecilia, Dapaah, God bless you. Continue to enjoy your peace. Continue to enjoy your retirement. Vindication is really in the womb of time. And there's a popular Ghanaian saying right now, give time some time. We have given time some time. We are still giving time some time. And we are beginning to see that the corruption house built of lies is collapsing. That the corruption house built with salt is dissolving. And we are beginning to see how vicious, wicked people were when they were attacking these people. Under the NPP regime, two things came to stand to, let's say, stand for corruption. Two main things. These were, one, the National Cathedral, and two, Cecilia Dapaah. So corruption had a geographical location. Let me say a whole National Cathedral. Corruption has a face and a name. That is Cecilia Dapaah. I will start with the National Cathedral.
No, we'll get there. But I'm dealing with this.
I want to follow. It's a flow. Just give me a minute, please.
Okay.
I beg you.
Right.
We were told that corruption had happened under the National Cathedral. If you believe the narrative, especially leading up to election, if you believe the opposition narrative, you would think that by now people would have been in jail. But we saw the audit report. And that audit report, I believe the opposition said that no criminal offense was committed. That every single money used in the National Cathedral was used for the purposes. You can question whether it was a priority, and that is excellent. You can question whether we should have been doing it. That's also excellent. But the audit report, the comprehensive audit report, and the decision said that no crime was committed and has been committed so far. That is why so far there's absolutely nobody standing trial for the National Cathedral. We said that crime has, of course, yes. So that is one thing. So on the National Cathedral, vindication has come in a time of womb. Then I come to Cecilia Dapaah.
So the reason why is it when you go into this, the audit report, as you reference, is different from the management letter. There are two different things. We had a perfect and extensive conversation on this matter just a few weeks ago, which clearly indicated that questions had to be answered in terms of the expenditures that were incurred in this National Cathedral, and then also the padding of certain expenditures that were captured in this said report. So it is premature to make that conclusion. And that's why I'm saying that because that matter is not on the table for sensitive discussion. I started off with Cecilia Dapaah for good reason, because of what is captured in the Special Prosecutor's report.
Thank you. So Cecilia Dapaah, this woman was hounded. This woman was harassed. This woman was insulted. She did a very noble thing. She resigned her position so that the government doesn't become a punching bag. She left. His Excellency the President Akufo Addo wrote a letter in accepting it. A little part of that letter says that I believe that you will be vindicated with your king. The president was roasted for that. People called him names. People said they had already acquitted him. So I acquitted her. So far, Cecilia Dapaah was investigated by the OSP during the Akufo Addo regime. And he said he found nothing wrong. The woman had committed no crime. 2. Cecilia Dapaah has now been investigated during the John Dramani Mahama regime. And again, the OSP said, I want to read something, point 2.26 of the OSP report. It said, after nearly 7 months of extensive investigations by the office and a parallel inquiry by the Federal Bureau of Investigations of the United States, no direct and immediate evidence of corruption was found in respect of seized funds and frozen bank account linked to Ms. Dapaah and her associates. One, she's been investigated by 2 different regimes. So if you believe that Akufo Addo was covering up for her, then you also have to believe that President Mahamadu is covering up for her. 2, if you believe that Akufo Addo was not covering up for her, then you have to believe that President Mahamadu is not covering up for her. Either way, you come to the same conclusions. Both regimes have found nothing wrong with her. That's 1. 2, Cecilia, the past also be investigated by 2 different countries and two different nationalities. By the Office of the Special Prosecutor of Ghana, and also by the Federal Bureau of Investigations. The FBI is par excellence. There is no other investigation organizations in the world that even comes close to the expertise, the experience, and competence of the FBI. I don't know how. Look, in these 8 months of the government, 2, 3, or 4 Ghanaians have been repatriated to the United States to serve prison terms because of crimes they have committed. This same FBI has said that we have looked at everything you've thrown at us. We've looked at everything that has been thrown at this woman for about 2 years now. We've looked at every single allegation that you've asked us, and we found nothing. She's clean as a whistle. We found absolutely nothing against her.
Is that what the OSP report?
I've read. You see, we are all doing revisions here. Martin,
No.
I know you are saying you're a but don't come. No. I've read. I'm saying that I've looked at this. This is what I make of this. This is what it means to me.
That's what it means.
That's what it means to me.
Is that what it is?
That is what it is. Right now, that is what the only thing that is in black and white.
So you see, I have a copy of the report as well. The quotes that you made and the commentary that you made that no direct and immediate evidence, the emphasis on immediate evidence of corruption was identified during the investigation. The OSP itself has also issued a statement clarifying that position.
Thank you. I want to come back.
Would you want me to read that?
No, I've read it. No. That shows the other statement issued by the OSP shows how incompetent and shows how vindictive they are. It shows their bias. It shows their bias. I'll tell you why. Thank you. I'm happy. Let me explain that. The law says that you have to issue a half-year report in 6 months.
Yes.
That's the law. You spend money, tax-based money, to prepare this report diligently. Mm-hmm. You had all your lawyers, all your investigators read it to make sure that it's correct. It says half year. You didn't bring it to us half year. I don't know when their year starts. So if it starts in January, half year is June.
Yes.
If it didn't start in January, but you are bringing us in August, 8 months. So it meant that you needed more time to finish your report. You did that. Now you gave us the report. We read the report. And you're like, we made a mistake.
No.
We now went back and you are now trying to amend the report. It took you 8 months to write the report. That report is false. So we shouldn't take what is on it. Rather, we should believe the haphazard one you just brought up to amend it. And understand this, it's only, Cecilia, the Dapaah one that you are trying to amend. Now, we now have 2 statements. One says that nothing. Then you have another one. It also says this. And you are saying that, ignore our official lesson. Ignore it. Throw it away. Believe in the supplementary one we have brought. That is justice and the OSP. I mean, how do you do it? If you spend, how much money was spent on preparing this report? How much resources were spent? And then you are telling us that you are now poo-hooing your own report. You are now running away from your own report. You are saying that throw it in the gutter. Come and take the rejoinder that I have given you on duty. If there is confusion, who caused the confusion? If there's misrepresentation, who caused the misrepresentation? If there are errors, who caused it? You cannot create or deliberately, willfully, or ignorantly, or mischievously create confusion. And now you are saying, by the way, throw my report in the garbage. Come and read this one. Why are you doing this? If it took you 8 months to prepare a report, that you are not supporting your own report, you are not defending your own report, you are saying believe another one. If I was saying that it's personal, because why are you afraid of the narrative surrounding it? Why are you afraid? Because you put it there. Why did you create that mischief? And that's the second point I'm making.
I see, but this case is not a closed chapter yet, is it? Because even if you want to base on their report, they refer this to the IOCO. IOCO returned the docket. Now this new IOCO leadership says, I'm interested in this case, bring me the docket, let me look into it.
Thank you. The IOCO has not said anything. I'm reacting to what is in front of me. I'm reacting to what the OSP has done. I am saying that the OSP, in fact, the OSP should tell us how much money was spent on this investigation so far. They should tell us how much collaboration has done. And so far, the OSP is telling us, after all that we have done, we have zero, we have nothing. They've come out empty-handed in this Dapaah case. If this letter, if this report had come out when Akufo Addo was in power, they would have burned down this village. This town would have been burned down. If this report had come out when the MPP was in power, if MPP had won the election and this report came out, there would have been fires on the streets of Accra because nobody will believe it. The report has come out now, and that is it. Again, you've seen that I have a stand on this position, on here whenever I come.
Right.
I've never said that don't investigate anybody for corruption. No, because my position is clear. I believe in regime accountability and post-regime accountability. Where regime accountability doesn't happen, in this case, you refuse to investigate and punish your own people, I believe that a new administration has every right, in fact, should actually actively pursue it to hold you accountable. At the end of the day, it's about what I call accountability. So long as you raise your hand to take an oath to serve your country, you must prepare that one day you can also raise your hand in a docket to defend your regime. I will never justify. I will never say no do that. But this case, in this particular case, you see, I'm beginning to sense a certain concept of personalized. There's something personal about it. It's like, listen, we must punish Cecilia Dapaah. We must convict her. If not, all the noise, the cacophony of voices and noise about corruption would have been for nothing. It's like we must make sure that this woman goes to jail or we take him, and if not, we cannot justify the noise we made about her. That is vindictive. That is wicked. And for me, it seems that that is the rat hole that we are now passing through.
I see.
Whatever happened, by whatever means possible, Cecilia Dapaah must go to jail. And I am saying that to me looks bad. Cecilia Dapaah, wherever you are, the God you are praying to, continue praying to that God. The lawyers you have defend you, let them keep defending you. One day, in the court of justice, if you are found guilty, I'm sure you will serve your time. You knew that before coming to government. One day, if you are found not guilty, I'm sure you will say hallelujah. But right now, this report and what it says tells me that somebody out there is bent on sending this woman to jail.
Well, that cannot be done without reasonable evidence that's proven beyond reasonable doubt in a court of competent jurisdiction. That decision of she being thrown into jail or otherwise cannot be done in oblivion.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.